Hello everybody, my name is Kira, aka Kira's Bookshelf. Welcome to my channel and my very first reading vlog for 2026. I am so excited to film this week's video because I will be reading only thrillers for an entire week, and these thrillers are Two Sides to Every Murder, How to Survive Your Murder, and They'll Never Catch Us. Now, if you watched my 2026 TBR video, then you would know that I have been reading a lot of fantasy back to back, and so I feel like these books will be really nice cleansers. I'm actually really excited for these because they are YA thrillers, and I know a lot of people don't like YA books, but I actually think that they are really fun, and I feel like there's actually a lot that you can do with this genre, and I'm pretty much going into these books kind of blind. I've tried really hard not to read the descriptions. I do know one of these books does take place at a summer camp, but for the rest of them, I literally have no idea. So with that, let's get on with the reading vlog. I really hope that you guys will enjoy this video. Please let me know in the comments what you are currently reading because I definitely need more books to add to my TBR. Okay, so it is a little later in the day and I didn't really read as much as I wanted to, but I did get a little bit done, and I feel like I'm at a point in the story where I definitely want to talk about it. So the story follows Millie, Xavier, and Alice, and two of these characters run a true crime podcast, and this podcast is actually going to be kind of relevant to the beginning of the story. So the story starts on Halloween night. The characters are going to a cornfield maze, and in their small town, this is a really big deal. It's like a really fun spot that everyone goes to for Halloween. Everybody gets dressed up and does the traditional spooky things. And at this party, Alice's sister actually ends up being brutally killed. And I was surprised by this because, again, this happens really early on in the story. And I think one thing that was super messed up is the fact that Millie literally has to kind of watch the whole thing. She does try to help her sister, but she ultimately ends up being the only one to get away, and it was such a terrible feeling, like, to know that you really couldn't help your sister. And this killer literally had a chainsaw, and I thought that was so crazy, and this was definitely a reference to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So then the story jumps ahead to a year later on Halloween again, and now Alice has to testify against this guy who killed her sister, and I feel like it's really sad because she pretty much isolates herself from her friends. There are reporters chasing her down. There are people that don't believe her. People think that she lied about her sister being killed by this man. It's very similar to like real life situations in true crime where a lot of times people don't want to believe the victims. And one thing that really irritated me is that the guy that did this has like this weird fan club. It's pretty much just people who think that this girl is lying and they want this man to walk free. And of course the main character is like, why would you want that? He literally killed my sister. I'm surprised he didn't kill her too. I'm not really sure why he didn't kill her, but it was just such a terrible thing to just know that this murderer has a fan club. So basically where I'm leaving off with this story is Alice now has to testify. While she is in court, she decides to run to the bathroom because she's really overwhelmed by everything. One of these girls follows her into the bathroom and attacks her and just assumes that she's lying about being attacked and how her sister got killed. So I am going to keep on reading and I will check in with you guys soon for the next update. officially the next day, and I have finished How to Survive Your Murder, and honestly, I am feeling really conflicted about it. So where I left off in this story is basically Alice wakes up and realizes that it is the day that her sister died. So of course she saves her sister, but she also ends up saving a few other people that were going to get killed that day as well, and she basically upset the balance of time, I guess, and she has to basically fix everything. But this time, when she's trying to fix everything, she decides that she wants to try to get the killer locked up, because obviously then everyone is safe. I believe before she hit her head, it wasn't really looking good. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he would have gotten away with it for some reason, just because of the way the girls were cheering for him. It just kind of made it obvious that that was where the story was going. So I'm really happy that it didn't go that route. I would definitely say that this book is a lot like Before I Fall and Happy Death Day, except that she only gets to relive this day once. So there's higher stakes to this story. I would definitely say because of the ending of this book and the fact that I personally didn't find it to make any sense, I would give this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars. So literally just right in the middle. It's not terrible, but it's not great. It's probably the type of book I would recommend if you were almost done with your TBR and you had no idea what to read. I know that I have another book by Danielle Valentine on this TBR for the video, but I decided I actually want to jump into They'll Never Catch Us because I feel like I just need a break from this author's writing. It's not bad, but it is very beginner YA in the sense that things are a little too fast-paced for me for the thriller. I feel like I would like to sit with the characters more when they're still in the beginning of the story. Like, I really want to get to know the characters before I actually start caring about them. But honestly, I feel like that will be a really nice way to end the vlog. Now, I did end up skimming the back of They'll Never Catch Us. Not too much, but I kind of wanted to get the gist about it. And I see that this is going to be about two sisters and college, and I'm really excited for that because I feel like with some of the thrillers that I have, they do take place in high school, and sometimes that can be a little bit boring. So I feel like this college setting will be more, I guess, refreshing for me. So I'm actually going to jump into this right now, and I will check in with you guys soon. Okay, so I just reached chapter 17 of They'll Never Catch Us, and I really wish that I read this book first. I'm finding that I am loving the plot of the story and the character dynamics of this one a lot more. I will say it's kind of dragging out a little bit, but it doesn't feel slow, which is honestly really impressive because I feel like sometimes when these types of books drag on and take a minute to really escalate, it can be a little bit boring, but I'm finding myself like actually enjoying all of the characters. So the main characters in this book are Ellie and Stella, and they are sisters who run on a cross-country team in high school, and they are both trying to get scholarships to college. And I really like this premise because I feel like I don't really read a lot of books where sports is kind of integrated in the plot, so it's really fun. So these girls are the best runners in their town, and of course that makes them extremely competitive towards their teammate, but also to each other as well. So everything seems to be going pretty well for them until a new girl named Mila comes and joins the team. She pretty much is now the best runner on the team, which means that these sisters have competition. I really like that both of these sisters kind of go about it in two completely different ways. Stella is more standoffish towards this new girl, whereas Ellie is kind of trying to be her friend. And I kind of like that even though they are both sisters, they have completely different personalities. So the plot really starts when this new girl ends up going missing, and apparently this is a normal occurrence in this town. For some reason, there are girls that were on cross-country teams in the past that just always went missing. I don't know why that is, and so far, like, there's not really any indication of like a kidnapping. It's really just they are being found dead. And so it seems like whoever this guy is that's taking these girls and killing them can pop up at any time, and he could be anybody. And I definitely am really excited for that, because right now I really don't know who could be doing this. I am interested to see how this is going to play out, especially because one of the sisters, I believe, was really starting to become friends with this girl. I feel like that's not really fair, because now the police are definitely going to think that she had something to do with it. I personally don't believe either one of the sisters did anything to this girl. So I am going to keep reading this book, and I will check in with you guys when I'm done. So when I last updated you guys, I told you that this killer was trying to frame Stella. So she decides to take it upon herself to solve this case so she can clear her name. And it turns out that her sister Ellie actually did have something to do with Mila's disappearance. I was actually surprised by this, because she ended up killing her by accident, and she pretty much just let her sister take the rap for it, even though her sister had nothing to do with it at all. And I found that to be super, super messed up. There were definitely a few plot holes to the story, but overall, I feel like I had a lot of fun with it, and I would probably give this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. And now for the very last book that will be featured in this vlog, I will be reading Two Sides to Every Murder, and I'm really excited for this because this takes place at a summer camp. I really, really hope that it has a lot of Fear Street vibes. I feel like I'm starting to notice a pattern though with this author, where a lot of her books just have to do with slasher killers, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I'm interested to see how she does this one, and I'm really interested to see if this one feels repetitive to the first book that I read. So with that, I am going to jump into this. If you have been enjoying this vlog so far, then please leave a like and a comment, and with that, let's start reading. Okay, so it is a lot later in the day, but I just reached chapter 13 of Two Sides to Every Murder, and I decided now would be the perfect time to update you guys. So the story follows Olivia and Reagan, and at this summer camp, 3 people got murdered, and the woman who is accused of murdering these people is named Lori, but she's also called the Witch of Lost Lake, and people pretty much just called her that because for some reason when she was killing people, she was wearing a really, really creepy witch mask, and now she's also being blamed for killing a fellow counselor in the past. And basically, Reagan wants this case to be reopened so she can figure out what happened for herself and maybe clear this woman's name. And I find that to be interesting because this woman is technically her like foster mom. For years, she thinks that Lori is her biological mom, and when she finds out, of course she's very surprised by it and she's hurt because she was lied to for so many years, but ultimately she realizes that this is the only mom that she has, and she really doesn't want her mom to be put away in jail. And I'm really excited to see how she's going to go about that, because right now it really doesn't seem like it'll be possible for her to clear her name. She hasn't talked to any police, she hasn't interviewed people or anything like that. Oh, and one thing that I wanted to mention is this book is actually in the same universe as How to Survive Your Murder, because I realized that the podcast from the other book was mentioned in this one, and they actually covered the case about her mom. So I thought that was kind of cool. I don't really know if a lot of authors do that, where they like connect the other standalones that are, I guess, written in the same genre. So that was really fun. So now I am going to keep reading this. I am so excited to finish this. I'm definitely finishing this tonight. I will probably give you guys an update tonight, but if not, I will check in with you guys tomorrow. Hi guys, so I have officially finished Two Sides to Every Murder, and I can definitely say that They'll Never Catch Us was my favorite book in this video. I actually feel like this was my least favorite book for the video, only because I feel like this book was kind of all over the place, and I found myself to be really confused. I remember mentioning to you guys that Olivia wanted to prove that her mom was innocent, but her mom was lying about a lot of stuff, and while she wasn't a bad person, it really made it hard for me to want to root for her. I feel like her lies were so unnecessary, and I feel like I was low-key getting whiplash because of the way the ending was done in this book. There was a lot of jumping from the past to the present. The big reveal of this book I won't mention, but I feel like it was so anticlimactic, and I actually found myself getting annoyed because, again, the mom just really could have handled things differently. So if I were to rate this book, I would give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars, just because it had so much potential, but I just feel like it really fell short. So I think because of this, my favorite book that I read for this video is They'll Never Catch Us. I honestly feel like even though there were little things that confused me, I really thought that this book was very close to being perfect. I had so much fun with it. So this has been Kiara's Bookshelf. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this week's video and watching me tackle my yearly TBR so early. Please be on the lookout for my next couple of videos, because I have a lot of fun and exciting reading vlogs planned for you guys. So with that, I am going to let you guys go. This has been Kiara's Bookshelf. Bye!